What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a mid fade on my boys, so stay tuned. We started off by separating the top from the sides and making sure our canvas is nice and neat. Now that we're done cleaning up our canvas, we can move on to our Go to Effects and create our first guideline. You always want to make sure you contour this first guideline to the head shape so that the fade can flow better. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make sure you make this guideline around an inch thick so you can spread the blend. We're then going to slightly close the lever and begin to attack that initial guideline. Don't forget to use your opposite hands to stretch the skin when needed. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and a lever to soften up the line and move on to our half guard. Don't forget to use your comb to get the hair out of the way and lay the hair down. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now that the line is soft enough with our one guard, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. We're also going to use the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. Remember, we're going to use the lever to soften up this line and get it ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Before we move on to our clipper over comb method, we're going to debulk a little bit more with our 3 guard all the way open. Now that we're done debulking with our 3 guard, we can move on to our clipper over comb method and make the fade as smooth as possible. And we're also going to leave as much weight as possible without making it look rigid. Now that we're done detailing the fade, we can move on to our Babyliss Gold FX and line up our C cup. I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using the corners. Make sure to be gentle, especially with the corners of the teeth of the trimmer. Moving on to the back, we're starting off with our no guard all the way open and we're creating our second guideline. We are right underneath the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you be careful. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Now we're right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you detail as much as possible here. Remember, we're using this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. This guard is going to help us get ready for our 1.5 guard. Make sure to use your lever and the 1.5 guard to detail as much as possible, especially when you're near the occipital bone. Always make sure to dunce off your canvas. It's more comfortable for the client and also you get a better visual. Now we're using our clipper over comb method, and this is going to help us blend in the bulk in. It's always best to learn clipper over comb, especially when you have a lot of haircuts that leave weight on the sides. Make sure to use your horizontal cuts to debulk and your vertical cuts to blend. Now we're heading back to the back and we're going to detail as much as possible with the one guard all the way open. Now we're moving on to the top and we're saturating the hair as much as possible so we can get the true length of the true hair follicle. I'm going to start off with my first guideline at the top of the capitis and then I'm connected to the sides. Right here I'm showing him a length of what he wants to get cut off and then he confirmed it. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count if you made it this far into the video. Don't forget to connect the top to the sides. That's very important. You don't want anything leaking. Now that we're done with our shield work, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. Before we use our razor, we're going to apply some elegant shave gel so our razor can glide better. When you're using the razor, you want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand to keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bring guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off by saturating the hair, combing everything in place, making sure our canvas is nice and neat. We're now moving on to our gold effects, and we're gonna create our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. Now that we're done building them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we're done setting in the guideline, we're going to slowly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Always make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand to give you more space to blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to use your lever and also the corners. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. We're also going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. This guard is going to help us connect to the 1 guard all the way open and also the 2 guard on top. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so you switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners would definitely help. Before we finish blending the parietal ridge, we're going to switch over to our 4 guard all the way closed and debulk the top. Now that we're done debulking the top and sides, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and create our 5th guideline. This is going to help us connect to the 4 guard on top and also the 2 guard all the way open. Here I'm using my 3 guard and my 2 guard all the way open to debulk and detail as much as possible. Now I'm switching over to my clip roll comb method to make the blend as smooth as possible. Now that we're done detailing the sides, we can move on to the back and start off with our no guard all the way open and then slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. We are near the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you take your time here and detail as much as possible. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can switch over to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We are right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you detail. Also, use your lever to soften up the line as much as possible here. As you can see, now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Remember, we are using its lever in the corners. Since we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This guideline is going to help us get ready for the 1.5 guard and also blend into the 3 guard on top. Now we're switching over to our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us connect to the 4 guard on top that we debulked with. We're also going to use a 4 guard all the way closed on the beard, the same thing we used on top. Before we line him up, we're going to make sure his hairline is nice and even with the 4 guard closed. Now that we're done going against the grain on his hairline, we can move on to our gold FX and start off in the middle, working our way to the sides. You always want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then you won't line them up properly. Moving on to my C cup, I'm starting off at the bottom and working my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. You also want to make sure you're going against the grain, especially if the hair is growing to the sides. Make sure to keep the corners and vertical bars as natural as possible. Nobody wants the corners too exaggerated. Now we're moving on to the C cup, and we're starting off at the bottom and working our way to the top arch using its corners. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count. I'm 100% gonna reply to you guys. We're gonna use our no guard all the way open to start off the fading the sideburns. We're then going to move on to our one guard all the way open and arch the clipper at a certain angle. Now that we're done with the one guard, we're switching over to our 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard closed. Now that we're done fading the beard, we can move on to our turquoise razor and Derby premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. When you're using the razor, you always want to make sure you stretch the skin with your opposite hand as much as possible, and also keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. Also, don't forget to use shave gel on the bottom of the neck, especially if they have coarse hair.